everybody, it's Dar. Welcome back in. Peace, love. I wanted to talk to you today about your thoughts and depression and how the two are connected. You're going to hear me repeat a lot in my videos because repetition is a very important way for you to learn. Just like you do when you're in school. You learn the ABCs for the first, 3 years that you're in school, kindergarten, pre-K. It's all repetition. So if you hear me repeating things, because that's the best way for you to retain information. Thoughts and depression. First of all, understand I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse, I'm not a psychologist, not a psychiatrist. I don't have a degree in any of those areas. Certainly wouldn't try to be one or tell you that, or even tell you that one who may be available has the answers that you might be looking for. But what I am going to offer to you are some spiritual answers that I know for sure are true. So let's start with your thoughts and what your thoughts have to do with depression. First of all, your thoughts are creation. Because you, like I've always told you, are a divine, powerful being. You're a creator and you're a manifester. What does that mean? It means that you can create. You have the power to do so. You're a divine being. You were placed on this earth and you have the ability to create. In fact, you create all day long, every minute, every second of every day. You're just not aware that you're creating. How are you creating? It starts with your thoughts. How do you know what your thoughts are and if you're creating negative or positive? Your internal GPS, which is your emotions. So if you're feeling bad, without a doubt, it's negative thoughts that you're thinking. If you're feeling really good, without a doubt, it's positive thoughts that you're thinking. So what does that have to do with depression? Well, depression is just that. It's a depressed state. It's a down state. So without a doubt, what you're thinking is negative when you're depressed, or what other people term depressed. I think we throw it around a lot because the fact is people have been sad, aka depressed, for thousands of years and not understood why. And there's an awakening going on right now in the past 10 years, so major that people understand now the connection, the correlation between their thoughts and depression. I wouldn't tell you that you should or shouldn't take medication or if that works for you or not. I can tell you in my dealings with medication with people that I love, any medication that's out there is basically a suppressive, just something to kind of make you not feel anything. And while that might be okay for the short term, it's really not something long term. It doesn't help you long term. So, thoughts and feeling depressed. You're definitely thinking of things that make you feel bad. And it's self-talk. What are you telling yourself? What are you thinking about? Are you thinking about the same things constantly? Likely, you probably are. For instance, you may be, thinking about every single negative thing about yourself that you can think about. You don't like your physicality, you don't like your position in life, you're not happy with your family members or your friends, you're not happy with the world. You watch too much news and you soak all that into your body and you just can't help but feel sad and depressed. I can tell you, I am one of those people that people refer to as an empath, or I think they call it, well, it's an empath, empathetic. It used to be, and I don't allow it anymore, but it used to be you could sit down and tell me a story about something, or I could watch a story, and I could literally put myself in the position of the person in that story and feel the sadness, the anger, the hate, the loneliness, the depression that person's feeling at the time. I was really good at tapping into that, not realizing that wasn't really doing any good for the person that was actually going through that. It's kind of like if you go past somebody, you walk past somebody and they're down in a hole. You don't literally jump into the hole with them and then say, okay, let's figure out how to get out of here. You don't. You either reach down and try to pull them out, or you throw something down to them in order to get them out of the hole. And if they don't reach for it, then you're not going to be able to get them out of the hole. At best, you may be able to stay there at the hole with them and kind of talk to them and let them know that you're there and you love them. But you can never get in the hole with them. And when people try to help somebody that's depressed, they don't realize that sometimes by getting in the hole with, well, not sometimes, when you get in the hole with them, you're not helping them at all. So if you're a person who feels like you're depressed, or you know somebody that is, understand that that all comes from thoughts fueled by your emotions. So what am I supposed to do, Dar? Because yeah, it sounds great. Now what the hell do I do? Okay, I want you to start by understanding that connection, that your thoughts are the basis for the depression that you're feeling. And depression in air quotes is not by any means wanting for me to make you feel as if, oh, it's depression. For some people, it's a huge deal. It's a terrible thing for somebody to go through. But the good news is, I can tell you with 100% certainty that you can do something about it. And until you know that and accept that, you're not going to be able to move forward. So if you say to me, well, I don't believe that, and I need medication, I need somebody else to help me out of it, well, you're probably not ready for this information. But if you're tired of listening to what other people say, or how other people are telling you that you should live your life and handing you medication, you just don't feel any better than you did prior to taking the medication or the counseling or the psychiatric care, whatever it might be, I want you to know that you can do this. You can most definitely connect with your inner being and work with your thoughts to pull yourself up out of the hole. How do you start by doing that? You start by replacing negative thoughts with better feeling thoughts. I'm not asking you to make a major leap, and let's say you have a thought about a particular time in life where something terrible happened to you. I'm not saying all of a sudden replace the thought with, oh, life's wonderful and that never happened. That's not what I'm saying. First of all, the event, understand that the event no longer exists. You know that. You know it's not there anymore. But when you choose to think about it, or maybe not choose, at this point in time, I'm sure it's not something you're choosing on purpose. But know this, that after today, knowing what you know, you would be making that choice. But prior to this, you weren't choosing it on purpose. But what you were doing was living it and reliving it and living it and reliving it again. So when you do that, all those negative thoughts connected to that particular event will start to snowball, and then they start to pick up other negative feeling thoughts around them. And before you know it, you're so caught up in this momentum of negative thoughts and literally feeling that depression, that state of just being pressed down and feeling isolated and alone. It takes a little bit to get up out of that, but you can do it. So I want you to start little by little. And I want you to first write down 5 things about yourself that you like and respect, and 5 things about the world that you like and respect. And you may first think, oh, I can't do this. There's just nothing I'm feeling good about. Well, choose something, because I know you can find something. Even if it's something somebody else might think is silly and small. I like that I can get up in the morning and hear the birds chirping. I appreciate the fact that there's food in my cupboards. I like the fact that I'm pretty smart and I like to read really educational books. Whatever it is, you can find something. And what I want you to do is, when those negative thoughts pop up, and how do you know they're popping up? By the way you feel. So if you're feeling sad and down, stop for a minute and say, okay, what was I thinking about? Oh, I know. I was thinking about that particular thing that happened to me, or that period of time for a couple years when these events were all snowballing. Oh, you know what? I remember something good now. I'm going to think of something good. Now, I know people like to laugh at that sometimes. They go, oh, okay, hee, that's cute. Let's just pretend the world's wonderful and gay, and we're all running around like angels with wings. No, knock that shit off, okay? That's not what it means. The fact is, you're a powerful being, okay? You are a powerful being. And how do you know that's true? Because you can make yourself feel really terrible at times. You can put yourself in such a state of downward spiraling that it does take time to get up out of it. But you're the power. You're the strength. Nobody else is. Not the doctor, the nurse, your friend, your neighbor, your husband, your wife, your kids, your animals. None of them are going to be able to pull you up out of a state of depression or sadness or negativity. They may be able to sometimes add to some of that when you want to wring their neck, or the opposite, they could add some beautiful things where you feel great, but ultimately nothing outside of you is responsible for the way you're feeling. It may feel that way. You may say, well, no, it is. That person did that to me and they're responsible for it. Okay, how long is that going to happen? How long are you going to allow somebody else or something else to have control of the way you feel and the way you think? Ultimately, it's up to you. So I'm not going to keep preaching to you. I just want you to think one thing before you leave today. Am I responsible? Just ask yourself that question. How responsible am I? Can I do something about this? Do I want to do something about this? And if you say yes, that you want to do something about this, the answer is yes to all those questions. You certainly can. And you start by building some beautiful inner strength, by allowing yourself to connect to the higher power that is pure love that we're all connected to. Allowing yourself, well, you know what, you're already connected to it. Allowing yourself to turn on the connection. Once you turn on that connection and you allow that love to flow through and that power to flow through to the point where you can feel it, you're going to be like, wow, Dar, man, that chick on that YouTube channel, what the hell was her name? She might have had something there. So if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. Feel free to like or subscribe, because that's the way I look at that, and I see if people are listening. And if you've come to this page, this YouTube page, their channel, there's a reason why. It's time for you to make some really better decisions for yourself, because life is better than what you've been living. This I promise. And you are the king or the queen at the helm of that life. So let's start to do something about that. I love you, my friend. We'll talk soon. Peace, love.